Ner Shabbos Kodesh, Parshas Behar, Tavshinayin Tes from Yerushalayim HaKodesh. When we look at this week's Parsha, the outset, it looks like a bunch of random halachas compiled into this portion of the Torah. We want to finish off Sefer Vayikra, and we're going to have a few mitzvahs that weren't mentioned yet. Ki'ilu, that's what's going on. What do we learn? We learn about Shemitah. We learn about Yovel. We learn about the Eved Ivri, the Jew who's the slave of another Jew. He was got into possession of something he shouldn't have, and he couldn't pay it back. So he has to sell himself to pay back his debts. And then we have the case. And then we have a halacha that the Goyal Akar, the person close to him, should come and should bail him out. Because that's what a car is. We spoke about that last year. And then we get to the case where a Jew sells himself to a guy as an Eved. And then we had a reminder, don't do Avodah Zarah and make sure to keep Shabbos. It looks so random. What's the connection between the beginning, the end, and of course the famous Kasher Ma'in Shmita Itzel Har Sinai? Right? The Pasuk says, Hashem says, in Midbar on Har Sinai, tells them that when Klal Yisrael will get there, it's Yisrael, B'Shana Hashviyas, Shabbos, Shabbos, Ma'in Shmita Itzel Har Sinai. What does Shmita have to do with Har Sinai? Why is it mentioned there? So we're gonna just go with the Mahalach for a little bit. That the reality is that the entire parsha is discussing one man. One man who starts off as a good Jew, but his taivas hamammon, his craving for money, for materialism, has taken control of his life, and he feels that if I'm not working, how am I going to survive? If I'm not working, how am I going to survive? Take a year off? Who's going to support me? He works during Shemitah, and of course he doesn't see any bracha from it, and he ends up losing a lot, but he needs X, Y, and Z. That's why he goes to work in the morning, so he could get money, so he could afford X, Y, and Z. And if he can't afford X, Y, and Z from work, what does he do? He's going to steal. He steals, now he becomes an Eved. He's forced into it, but he's there, and six years later, he's like, wow, this geschmack. I get A, B, and C. I get the better pillow, the better food. The master, well, he's losing out. But me, I get the better pillow, the better food. What do I have to lose? It comes Shemitah, and they say, time to go. He says, I'm fine, I'm good. Work for you, it's all good. You're paying the bills. I say, all right. He can stay with his family, with this other, if the other wants to keep him, of course. He could stay with them until Shemitah, until Yovel. Once Yovel comes, he can't stay anymore. So the guy stole because he needed a better life for himself. He got the better life as an Eved, and now it's Yovel. He's thrown out. You can't stay here. It's just not. You can't stay in this situation. It's not happening. And he gets out of that house with nothing. All the work he did the last 20 years for this guy, he has nothing to show for it. He was an Eved. He enjoyed his time. He had a comfortable pillow. He had good food. He was an Eved. He has nothing. No paychecks. What's he supposed to do? Where's he supposed to go? He sells himself to the guy. He has nothing. What do I have left? And when he's at your old doctors, he sells himself to the guy. He says, well, now the guy owns me. Now I don't have to keep Shabbos. The guy tells me to work on Shabbos. I can work on Shabbos, right? Because I'm doing it for the guy. The guy tells me to do Avodah Zarah because that's what we do. I can do the Avodah Zarah, right? Because I'm working for the guy. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, no, even when you're in that low matzav, when you think you're so far gone, even then, li avodim, you're my avodim. And I didn't take you out of Mitzrayim. Lo ma'astim v'lo ga'altim. I didn't take you out to put you into this matzav, for you to be in this matzav. You have to remember that I am the guy's boss. And I'm telling you, you're not working on Shabbos, and you're not doing Avodah Zarah. Because I love you. And we really got to tap into that emotional part of that person at the bottom over there. He may have ended up in this situation circumstantially for things that he may not even realize he was doing until he was there. Where he sold his soul to the guy. He feels he belongs to the guy, and he has to live like the guy. We have to remind him in that matzav, we didn't take you out of Mitzrayim for you to be destroyed like this. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we have to remind him that HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves you. You're going to give that up because a little bit of money. But more importantly, this one guy, he missed the boat on so many levels. What's the point of Shemitah? What's the purpose of it? Just so the farmer shouldn't have a parnasa every 7th year? Because the pasuk itself says that you'll get enough money in the 6th year and the 8th year, that the 7th year you won't even feel any loss from it. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make any more. You're not going to make money in the 7th year if you sell, right? You'll see the income. But let's talk, for example, right? You can have an Eretz Yisrael in the same building, 2 apartments next door to each other, identical. One guy paid $200,000, and one guy paid $600,000 for the apartment. They're the exact same layout, the same thing. What happened? One guy bought it on paper before the building went up. He had the money. He was able to buy it, knowing that he'll have it. And the other guy bought it after the building was up, and it was something to show for it. The 6th year doesn't necessarily mean the bumper crop. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to make that much more money. It just means that his money will be able to be spent a little wiser. It'll last him longer. It'll last him through the 7th year. So, what is the point of Shemitah then? It's not for a farmer to lose money, right? So, we have to remember one thing. We have to remember that when Adam Arisha was created in this world, he was created with all vegetation he was able to eat. He didn't have to ask for it. He didn't have to work for it. It was there and available. Because Adam Lo Nivra, says the Ramchal, Adam like nivra ela lihisani gel Hashem. Man was not created. The only purpose man was created for was lihisani gel Hashem, to get close with Hashem, to oneg, to enjoy the relationship with Hashem, and to benefit from dwelling within His Shechina, His presence, His Shechina, covenant, I think is the English word. The purpose, HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not create people in this world to work. That's not, we were not born, we were not created in this world so that we could go out to the office and earn a couple of dollars to enjoy ourselves. That's not what our purpose of living is. It's not what the purpose of creation is. The purpose of man is to close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to have a relationship with Him. Adam Rishon did the chait of the Eitz Hadas. He ate from the Eitz Hadas, the one plant HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him don't touch. He touched. And because that, one of the things is HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, you're going to have to sweat. You're going to have to work hard to get food, to be able to provide and support your family. That's the curse of all mankind. And we don't really find the Chazal discuss what would have been had Adam Rishon not eaten from the Eitz Hadas. It just doesn't, it's very seldom does that question even come up in Chazal, because we understand that this is just a metzius in the world, and for whatever reason it had to be this way. That there was another Rishon kind of a chait, and there was a chait, and there's the after the chait, and the reality that we live in. So in the reality we live in, there is a concept of by the sweat of your brow you will eat, you will be able to eat. But that's only a result of the chait of Adam Rishon. That's not the reason why we were created. The reason why we were created was to have a relationship with Hashem. And in order to do a relationship with Hashem, we have to do mitzvahs. In order to be able to do these mitzvahs, in order to put food on our table for Shabbos. In other words, not really that. That's something else. For that, you don't really need to go to work, and that's a separate conversation. But so we can eat, so we can have to do avodas Hashem, right? We need to have a little bit of a parnasa. You have to take care, right? Person signs a ksuba. There's a mitzvah. There are mitzvahs in the ksuba to be the kayim, the marriage. And one of those things is support your family. That's just what one of the mitzvahs is, right? And a person has to work honestly. That's part of also this week's parsha. The halachas of memka. You can't be dishonest in business. But the point is that's not the purpose. The purpose was to have a relationship with Hashem. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, in a weird way, we're going to try to be misaken this chait of Adam Rishon in this weird way. Because before the chait of Adam Rishon, you can eat. I will give you food, and you can eat. Just say thank you. Recognize where it's coming from. Have a relationship with me. And that is Shemitah. Shemitah is, I will give you the food in the 6th year that will last you the 7th year, and you'll get a bumper crop in the 8th year as well. I am taking care of you. Remember that I am Hashem, and have that relationship with me and trust in me. And if you don't, if you're nervous about it, then you get extra bumper crops. You know, the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah says, the Gemara tells us that on Rosh Hashanah, it's an nigzar how much money a person is going to make the entire year, right? Yet we go, we go out to work and we hustle and we bustle. Why do we have to work so hard? So many things are how much money we're gonna make. Well, maybe it's the fact that you have the work opportunities is part of that, how much you'll make during the year. Kodesh Baruch Hu gives us opportunities to be able to do that. And he decides how much we're going to make. The only thing not in that cheshbon is it says schar limud for your children, for your children's tuition, not part of that cheshbon, and it says Shabbos v'yom. Shabbos shopping is not part of that cheshbon. But whatever else you'll have to survive for the year, it's Nigzar Rosh Hashanah, and you just have to tap in and do your hishtadlus to get that money. And if a person is going to work on Shabbos, now he may make a couple of sales. He may make a couple of dollars in sales. But again, all of a sudden, the guy got into a car accident, and then all that money he made on Shabbos, all that extra sales, went out the window, right? Why set yourself up that way? So a person has to recognize why there's a Shemitah, and the Shemitah is HaKadosh Baruch Hu saying, I want to have a relationship with you, and I'm going to take care of you in the 6th year and the 8th year, just so in the 7th year we could spend a year together. When you'll come and learn and daven for the working guy. And we have that on the 7th day of the week as well. We have a Shabbos Kodesh. We stop, and you don't go to work. You go Sudas, we're shul, we get to learn, we get to spend time with our family, doing what's in Hashem, building that relationship with Hashem. Because that's really the purpose of our being in this world. What about the person who doesn't recognize this? He's so far gone, he doesn't recognize this relationship with Hashem, that we have this tremendous opportunity to have this relationship with Hashem. And we look around and it's so common. So common, unfortunately. There's so many people that just don't realize and recognize what we could do with Hashem. Says the Or Chaim, Chavei Chavov. Torah says, if a person had to sell his house and he got money and he lost it, and then he had to sell himself as a Jewish Abed, his relative should come and redeem him. And the pasuk says, "V'im ein loy goyel." The person doesn't have a goyel, and the Torah continues to tell you what he has to do. He has to stay as an Ebed and learn all that stuff. Rashi has the question. He goes, "What do you mean? Who's the person that doesn't have a goyel?" The Or Chaim has a new approach to it. The Or Chaim explains. He says that the whole avodah here, the whole thing going on, is we're discussing about Klal Yisrael. We got so caught up in our materialism, as man by at the end of Bayis Sheni. We got so caught up, and we got so lost that we gave up our identity, our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we were okay. And then sadly, we are okay in a situation where we're not at home, where we're not sitting around the table with Avinu Shabbat Shemayim Berosh. We're not in the house. And we're content with it. Vim ein lo goyel, and no one's coming to save Klal Yisrael. We're in a bad place. We're in a good place, but we're in a terrible place as well. So many people who are so lost and have no sense of direction. And in Ishma Sefer, so no one's bringing them in, no one's guiding them. As Ar Chaim says, in Menahel, in Manik, Noyeg Yisrael. There's no one leading. And a person might say, well, what's going to happen? Maybe there's no tikva then. Ki ein legoyel. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, no, I'm the goyel. Yavay HaGoyel HaKarev, I'm the goyel. If we'd only connect and recognize how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves us and wants to take us back home, and wants to bring us home, He's the Karev, and it's Kikarev Elecha Adavar Ma'oid, and it's so close and so easy within our grasp, and we just have to wake up and do this. Recognize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there, and when we can recognize HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we're being Mekarev ourselves to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then it's Liman Achai V'Reya, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says. HaKadosh Baruch Hu refers to his Achai V'Reya, those who are carved to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when you're in a carved to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yavay HaGoyel HaKarev, the one who's going to come and take us out, the one who's going to redeem us, when we think there's no point and there's nothing left, and we think we won't have any schusim left, Yavay HaGoyel HaKarev, even when we're by the guy, when we sold our souls, and we become so materialistic, and we're so deep and entrenched in this gullus, and we're kind of content. We're okay. We got a nice house. We have our cars. I have my company. What do you mean I got to go to Eretz Yisrael to live, and Mashiach is going to come? I'll go visit on Sukkot. I'll stay in Rechavia, right? No. We're so content with that, but we can't be. It can't be it. What's chus? What's chus, says the Dasakain and Balatasis? What's chus are we going to be able to get out with Shabbos? And at least, do not, we're not over the Zara. We may not be over Hashem as properly as we could be, but it's been so long. It's been so dark. We've been in such a dark gullus for so long. When was the last time we heard we had a Yovel where it was there's no more Shibud and all the Avodim are released? When was the last time we had it? It's been so long. We hope and we daven and we pray that the Yovel will come. Shabbos and will truly come. The Yom that Mashiach is going to come. Yom Shekuloi Shabbos. And it's going to be a time when we're all going to come and we're all going to get together. Yeda kapol kiyata v'yalta v'yom kol yitzur kiyata yitzarte. V'yom kol Hashem neshama v'yapa Hashem l'kei Yisrael Melech will recognize it, be a global recognition of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the omnipresence, who takes care of us. And it makes no sense to think otherwise, that it's possible that we can exist. Thank you so much for listening. As always, any questions, comments, or feedback, you can leave in the comment section below.